Hi guys, I am King Rava, and in today's video we're going to take a look at what operators you should be using on defense depending on what your kill-death ratio is. Let's get into it. The idea of this video is not to increase your KD, but to make sure that you are using appropriate operators for your KD. So let's make sure that we understand what your kill-death ratio actually means. If you have a lower than a 1.0 KD, then that means that you are probably going to die before you get a kill in each round. This means that the only impact to that round that you will have is the time that you waste for the attackers and the utility remaining on the map after you actually die. So let's try to maximize that. Let's start with operators you should be staying away from. Here are the operators that you should only be using if your KD is higher than a 1.1. TECHANKA, Doc, Pulse, Smoke, VIGIL, CAVEIRA, WARDEN and ORYX. I don't really have to explain TECHANKA, but as far as the other operators go, look at them this way. For example, if you die as Smoke, your team can no longer benefit from his gas grenades. The same with VIGIL, a dead VIGIL does nothing, and seeing as we know a player with less than 1 KD is probably going to die, we should really maximise the impact you have in a round. The same tends to go with these operators, but more for maximum effectiveness as opposed to doing nothing after you die. Yes, you could have placed down a few goo mines with LESION, but if you're dying early, then did you really get maximum use out of him? And the same goes for WAMAI. When it comes to Clash, if you have less than a 1 KD and you are using her a lot, that's probably why your KD is so low. After all, you don't have a main weapon for getting kills. Castle is difficult to use effectively as it takes a lot of coordination between you and your team to get good use out of his barricades. Plus, overall, he has a pretty weak gun. If you have a negative KD, then here are some operators to start using. MOZZIE, MELUSI, GOYO, Cade, MIRA, Ella, Mute, JAGER and BANDIT. All of these operators have a lot of impact in a round just with their gadgets. Just look at MIRA. Even if she dies early, as long as she has her windows placed, her team can play behind them, so even though you are dead, you are still contributing to the rest of a round. The same goes with Cade's electro claws. Cade dies, but the wall that he electrified still can't be breached by a thermite. The same can be said for the rest of the operators in this list. If you have less than a 0.9 KD, then we really have to try and give you something to do after your death. I recommend using either Echo, VALKYRIE, ALIBI or MAESTRO. VALKYRIE and ALIBI have very easy guns to use, as well as VALKYRIE will give you 3 more cameras to look through after you are dead. As far as Maestro and Echo go, think of them as giving you and your team 2 extra bulletproof cameras or 2 extra invisible cameras that you can use after your death. These are very important operators to your team, so try to only play them if no one else on your team has chosen to use them. Try placing these cameras within the common attack routes to maximise the intel that you can give your team. You may think it's a waste of Ekai's yokai drones to give them to a player that is probably going to die before being able to stop the plant, but like I said, only play them if no one else on your team has chosen to use them. If your KD is lower than 0.8, then I can really only recommend that you use ROOK, KAPKAN and Frost. ROOK will give every member of your team a boost to their armor, which will assist you in getting kills by allowing you to stay alive for longer. KAPKAN has 5 entry denial devices that can be placed in sneaky locations around the map, dealing 60 damage. You will most likely start getting free kills when the round timer starts to get low and attackers have no time to check for the traps. When it comes to Frost, just place her traps under vaultable areas like windows and behind shields, then go back to the objective, stay on site and try to stay alive for as long as possible. Just look at the most recent win deltas. Rook, KAPKAN and Frost all have some of the highest win rates out of all of the defenders. So have a look at what operators you are using and see if you can have more impact through the round by taking my advice. I hope you enjoyed the video and I hope to see you again soon. Bye bye.